Howdy do, welcome back to the Tuesday show on UltraChenTV.
How's it going, everybody?
Okay, there it is. Let's talk about Kokonoe again. We talked about her last week.
Yeah, but
in
apparently,
BBCP.
just to update everybody on the situation, apparently she's actually starting to get banned in some places.
Right, last week we talked about how people were debating whether she should be banned, but she's now banned from Rebel Up stuff, tournaments, which are like bi-weekly SoCal tournaments. And I guess there are also talks to ban her at the Runback and at SCR, and Jabali is now, like, he had his community poll, which is hilarious, to see whether people wanted her banned, and like the results are so funny. Should the DLC character Kokonoe from BBCP be banned from tournament play? No, 31%. Yes, 69%. Is Kokonoe your main? No, 81%. 19, yes. It's funny that like they are totally mirrored. You know?
Yeah.
I guess it's what you would expect.
Of course, if you're not a Kokonoe player, you're gonna want to get rid of her, right? So
exactly, yeah.
I mean,
for a while, those numbers were identical.
Oh, were they?
Really like exact mirrors of each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do you feel about that, though? I mean, obviously, the fighting game community is not one with a history of lots of banning.
Yeah, well, we talked last week about how it is kind of a different story nowadays, a little bit different atmosphere than it was back in the day when we were playing in like the arcade and there was like nothing really on the line other than pride and like $10. It's a different situation now. And now that I've been screwing around with BlazBlue a little bit here and there. I've been certainly checking everybody out in training mode, watching more, checking out more media and stuff. She looks pretty ridiculous.
You watched the trap tutorial and stuff like that?
I did watch the trap tutorial. Yeah, I watched a bunch of stuff. She looks like such a fascinating character to play. I'm sorry that she is so good because she just seems like she'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Setting people up into unblockable black holes.
Are those like
so
little
sick.
gravitron things like suck you in?
Yeah,
or something?
they do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So she's like better than Tager.
Oh yeah,
Tager's got this magnet stuff. Let me hit you with stuff and make you zappy, and then I can suck you. And she's just like, no, gravity here, gravity there.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and rather than having to go into a grab, she just has an actual unblockable attack in the black hole.
That catches you while you're in block stun. Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing.
It's a cool design, but yeah. Okay, anyway.
I kind of agreed with the no banning thing because, history, we never banned anything. It wasn't until you mentioned last week Fubar Duck's argument, right, that the game may not even last long enough for us to see if she's ban worthy, right? So, dude, that I've also heard that Kokonoe is already causing some people to quit the game.
Really?
Already, because apparently, like, you just run into Kokonoe online a lot. So I don't know, but
is random online Kokonoe so much to worry about?
See, that's the question, right? Is it as bad? See, that's the thing. It's like,
that seems weird.
I wish, I really should just play it a little bit.
You should start screwing around with that game. It's fun.
Like,
it's interesting.
I just thought she was going to be really good, but I mean, you mentioned that, who was it, Fubar, or somebody said that she was like Akuma HDR level, right?
Fubar Duck said that. Yeah.
So.
And I guess she's not. When people are talking about how to get out of certain setups, you can like IB out of stuff.
Right,
there's like exactly. Yeah, there are things to do in some setups at least. I don't know all the specifics quite yet. But
see, now here's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
What if Kokonoe was banned for a little bit, and then after enough people get into it and get really good with their characters and people get better at the game, we try putting Kokonoe back?
I don't know,
it's
man.
It's like completely backwards. We've never done this before.
Sounds really weird.
It's really weird. But the thing about it is, Kokonoe is going to be oppressive right now because everyone's learning the game and some people aren't going to be familiar with it. And you run to one good Kokonoe, an average Kokonoe might be able to blow you up as long as they know one good infinite block string pattern, which apparently exists or whatever.
It does, yeah.
But, maybe they should like ban her for a little bit and then reinstate her.
That's so complicated.
I don't know. So yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think that's too complicated. I understand the idea. It's just like
right.
I don't know how the implementation of that works. Yeah, I don't know. It's up to people in that community. I hope, and yet am totally sure that people who don't play the game didn't vote in this poll. I'm sure, like A lot of the people who voted in that poll have never played this game.
Yeah.
So that sucks. It should really be up to the people who are playing the game and doing well. And so
there should have been trivia questions in there too.
I know, yeah.
Like, how do you do this move?
Yeah.
What does this move do?
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
and then you
For
have
sure.
to answer them right before your vote gets registered. So.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, if the community wants her gone, that's totally fine with me. I don't, you know, I'm not going to say anything against that. That said, to the extent that there is a debate, it's good that it still goes on. I mean, I've seen people say that she shouldn't be banned at SCR. SCR is a month away, and people have been putting a lot of time into this character. And now to put in, you know, a month into some other character, are they going to be able to compete? Really?
Right.
You know, is banning Kokonoe, does that mean that they really won't be able to have chance in the tournament? Not just because the character they pick is not going to be as good, but because they're not going to have as much time.
Yeah.
With the character.
Nerd Josh has been playing a lot of Blaze Blue.
Exactly
His main
right.
character's Kokonoe, and if she's going to be banning everywhere now he's got to just pick up a completely brand new character.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
So for tournaments that are a little later than that, I feel like that's more where the conversation should be. Maybe SCR happens with Kokonoe. Maybe she gets 7 out of 8 in the top 8 or whatever. Maybe it looks ridiculous. But I feel like that's a better thing to do at this point than to just ban her for that.
Yeah. One of the arguments that I heard said recently was that, I mean, a lot of times when you do have a character that's a little overpowered and like in a way that's not difficult, like let's not talk about Akuma, right? Like Akuma is hard to be good with, even though he's one of the best characters, right? But a lot of the times the best players won't use that character just because they don't feel like it's fun, right? Tokido would use him.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. But like some other people might not do it. So, can we judge on tournament results? You know, for Kokonoe? Because what if like Lord Knight, it said that he used Kokonoe. What if he didn't, right? We all know Lord Knight's really good at the game, right? Yeah. So what if a bunch of guys who are really good at the game, who all think Kokonoe is boring and easy, play the game and they win the tournament? That's not necessarily saying whether or not Kokonoe is broken or not.
I suppose. Yeah. Well, there's more evidence, you know, now that she's really super good. Obviously, she already was.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Move on to the next topic, I guess.
Sure. Go for it.
Let's talk about how apparently Team AGE has been disbanded.
Yes, and that was just announced like a couple of hours ago. PDP Candace came on Twitter and just basically said, regret to inform everybody that the Team AGE has been disbanded. And
that was pretty much the tweet.
Yeah, and they're pretty much gone, so...
Yeah, and then there was a little... I didn't really see too much of this. I kind of stopped paying attention, but... Chris G said something like, I wish you guys had let me know, rather than just like telling people on Twitter.
Right.
That's how I found out. And then Candace was like, well, I tried to call you, I tried to email you, you didn't get back to me. And somebody else was like, yeah, Chris never gets back to any of his stuff. And then Chris was like, no, that call came today. And it was just like, I stopped paying. That's where I stopped paying attention. Okay, so I don't know what the deal is with any of that. I don't know what the story is. It's too bad if it is true that PDP didn't let the players know in advance. That's too bad. I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
They did say, Candace did say, that the players who got a stipend will be getting that until March.
Right.
So it's not an immediate disbanding for everything. I think they're like announcing that it will be disbanding. Let's put it like that.
So I don't know. How do you feel about AGE?
Too bad. You know, they sponsored a lot of players. Players who did not get to travel without that sponsorship. Everybody knows Chris, but what about like Snake Eyes? You know, Snake Eyes depended on that sponsorship to get around.
He hasn't been part of AGE for a while now, though.
I thought, really? Hasn't he?
Yeah. I think he got let go earlier than everyone. When they did the initial shrink, I think he was out of that.
Okay, so who was still in there? I don't even know.
I think it was just him. I think it was Chris, Fnatic, Romance, and maybe Flash Metroid. I'm not sure now. I don't remember. So
they kept... I mean, Romance, I guess I understand. They kept Flash Metroid over...
Snake Eyes? I don't...
Fnatic over Snake Eyes? I don't understand. But okay, whatever. Anyway, it's too bad. Right, I mean, I don't want to lose sponsors from the fighting game community, it's great to get the players out there more, the ones who couldn't otherwise travel. It's nice that they can travel and that they can play more, and that as a result people can watch or meet them or whatever it is. I think that is a benefit. So I'm always sorry to see people get out of the sponsorship game. It's not a great game to be in for most. You know, only a few FGC sponsors have really, you know, kept themselves alive. And I'm not just talking about sponsors like EG that are kind of broader. You know, it's not just fighting games. They have a lot of games that they sponsor. For fighting games, there are really only a few that are endemic.
Yeah.
You know, and they've managed to stay alive, but it's not easy. Okay, so
yeah,
it's too bad. Anyways,
a lot of people saying like this is just, you know, signs that the FGC is just not making any money, and I mean it's probably a lot true, but
yeah,
but I mean
there's not that much money in this thing,
dude. Like we're still not. I mean, like everyone's trying to say like esports is the way to go, whatever like that. But then look at all the cases recently of all those esports teams not paying. I mean, we've just said like 7,000 examples of people not getting paid and teams essentially disbanding because they're not getting paid. So
right.
I mean, this whole competitive video game thing is just so brand new. Nobody knows what they're doing with it really just yet. In fact, some of the only people that may know what they're doing are guys like Alex Garfield, who's in charge of EG, because apparently he's paying his players and actually maintaining a good team and stuff.
They seem
like
to be on the up and up.
Yeah. So all these guys are gone. I mean, Snake Eyes got added on to. I don't know if you saw this. There's the Team Wednesday Night Fights that Vi put together just recently. I guess at SER. Because remember how last year there was the 3 guys, right? So last week he announced that there was a Team Wednesday Night Fights that's going to represent at SER.
Oh, yeah.
Which is Snake Eyes, Kino, Chris, Filipino Man, and Mark Teddy.
That is a good team. That is a good team.
That was a really, really good. Okay. I mean, basically, it's the NGL team with Kino and Snake Eyes. I mean, I know Filipino Man's not part of the team anymore, but, you know,
That's a really good team.
Yeah, that's a really good team. So, Snake Eyes, I guess, is there. But where do you think, like, for a guy... So, probably the 2 people who might be coveted most right now are Romance and Chris G.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
So
if you're Chris, you know, he can probably even do an infiltration kind of thing. He's so successful that he might be able to just pay his own way and take 100% of whatever the winnings are, like infiltration does. I don't know if he wants to do that. Maybe that's not, you know, something that he's interested in, but might be able to. Yeah, he's definitely, I think, the most coveted.
Yeah. And then Romance, obviously, he
Romance
does
is a
very
great
well
pick too.
from all the KOF, and you know, if KOF can get back to Evo next year, Romance obviously is going to make a big splash there too, right? So curious to see if anyone's going to pick him up. So
definitely, yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, competitive video gaming teams. It's like when baseball was like a big new thing in like the mid to late 1800s. There were so many teams that came about, disbanded, Yeah, that's what happens when something is new and it's really not settled yet, and there isn't like a real law of it yet.
And when the
there's not enough money to make, you know, law and contracts and all that stuff.
And you know, baseball players were making so little that they could be easily bribed into throwing games.
Right.
You know, that's where we're at right now. So, you know, it's going to take a while. I mean, we've always said that, right? It's not going to happen overnight. And, you know, anyone who sits there and look at some of the... I mean, the way that it's going to succeed, obviously, is with the company's backing, right? So Riot's doing it pretty good right now. Yeah. But even Riot right now, I guess there's a little pressure from the Dota scene, I guess. Or
is there? I haven't really been keeping tabs on either one lately.
Okay. But yeah, so...
All right. You want to take another break?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, let's do that. We'll be back with more in just a little bit.
All right.
I don't know what happened to Capcom, you know? Music was so good. Back in the day, we were just listening to some Marvel 2 music.
Dude,
it was so
Street
good.
Fighter 4 music is pretty good.
What are you talking about?
I like Hakan and Jury's theme. I thought they did a good job with their themes, dude.
I don't know what Jury sounds like, but Hakan's is okay, I guess.
Jury's has a really good theme, so.
Hakan's is mostly remarkable because it has the boing in it. Other than that, like, what do you care?
Dude, that's like the one part I wish they got rid of, but anyway.
That's all I can even remember about it. It's okay. But come on, does the SF4 like background themes?
The background themes are not as
those
great.
are horrible.
Yeah. There's no tuna with bacon in Street Fighter 4. You can't beat tuna with bacon, dude.
No.
You also cannot beat Third Strike background music.
Third Strike was so good. The Alphas had some underrated music, I feel.
I love the Alpha music, yeah.
Of course, Street Fighter 2 series. So
Guile
classic.
Theme,
So classic.
Ryu theme, Ken
Vega theme. Come on. ST Vega theme was the best.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of Capcom,
they had a live stream recently where Combo Fiend also got a chance to talk a little bit about the current developments of Ultra Street Fighter 4, what's going on with it.
Indeed.
We hinted at it a little bit, and he said that, we mentioned earlier that Combo Fiend said that the game just is like completely changing all the time.
Yeah.
And like week to week, one of the characters will be, week to week, a character will be too weak, and then the next week, they won't be too weak anymore. Anyways, never mind.
I see what I knew you're trying to go for something, but it
didn't work.
It did not work.
No.
But yeah, the game is changing a lot, and we knew it would. Everybody who has paid attention to a balancing in the past has seen that happen or heard of that happen anyway. We've heard stories about how in vanilla SF4, before the game came out, certain characters were really good or really bad, and then things switched just before the game was released.
Right.
That kind of thing happens. And, that's the nature of the game. You hope that they end up settling on something that is pretty balanced.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, Vega and Rufus and Vanilla just kind of ended up in a certain position, right? So I know that they said that they're taking a lot of the user feedback and such, and some things, for example, that were confirmed were that Chun-Li's jump is indeed back to how it used to be because it was actually too good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that Combo Fiend describes her was correct. She is a super solid ground character. If you just slightly buff her stuff, which they're doing, with respect to the ground, then she is really good. We saw that in Super. And maybe when we were playing Super, we didn't know the game that well. Maybe she wouldn't have been top whatever she was if we were to go back with our current knowledge. But she was still a really good character.
Yeah, I mean, I remember during Vanilla and Super, whenever we did commentary, we would always kind of have that where we would say Chun-Li has one of the best sets of normal moves in the game.
Great,
right? Yeah. They never changed. So she's always had a really good set of normal moves. It's just like maybe just the other characters got better for her because she had no Vortex.
Yeah.
And because the Vortex got so strong, her relatively weak wake-up options got magnified, right? And that's really kind of the only reason why she got worse. So if you give her delayed wake-ups and such...
better anti-air, down towards short.
Right, so maybe...
It's a big part of it. So I'm fine with his reasoning for that.
Yeah.
He said that they are also looking into select button plinking, but he didn't say one way or the other what may happen with it. Hopefully they deal with that. I would like that to be gone.
Yeah,
It's a stupid little exploit.
I've always just said move taunt to the back button and then use Fearsome Roundhouse for red focus, right?
That sounds awesome.
But the problem with that is, I mean, the mindset that I have with that is, what if they decide to port Street Fighter 4 to the Xbone or PS4?
Okay.
And neither of those consoles have a select button or a back button anymore to assign.
Then you just make it some weird combination of whatever.
Right. So.
Right. I mean, you can just, I don't know, it's like 2 punches and a kick and whatever, and start.
Yeah, that's true, because red focus is like the focus buttons and a third button, right? That should be taunt.
That should be taunt.
Yeah, that should be taunt.
All right, how come they're not doing that? Come on.
I don't know. Whatever. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. It also says that Adon's standing roundhouse has been returned to its former state where it was really good. Apparently, for a while it was nerfed. It was one hit, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad about that one. When they changed it, I was really kind of, because I said that was one of the things that made him really kind of cool and unique.
Yeah.
Was that you couldn't focus against his good poke.
Totally.
I mean, you could still do it at the max range. It was just really hard to get into that max range.
Right.
And plus another thing too is I felt like it was such a key component of Adon's game though that you couldn't easily focus his standing roundhouse.
Totally.
So I'm glad, but I mean it's just perfect examples how change, revert. Change,
right.
revert.
That's how it goes.
And from what we've been seeing for Street Fighter 4 2012, we might not have to change as much as we think we do.
I've always said that I would prefer to have minimal changes.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
But it's been great that this period in time is when characters are really coming out now that hadn't come out before.
Yeah.
Either Ryu, Oni, Vega, you mentioned those
Yeah,
before.
that's right.
Those have all done really well just recently, and this is a good time for that to happen.
And the other thing, too, is this is a really good sign that Combo Fiend is not making changes just to make changes.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is a temptation.
I hate
right? You will just do changes because you feel like something is supposed to be different.
Right.
The fact that he's changing it and reverting it is a great sign. So
Totally
we
agree,
should all
man.
be happy about
Nobody
that.
wants Sagat's Tiger Knee to juggle 3 times for whatever reason. Because it's fun. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Fake fireball. Dictator's neutral jump strong launches. Okay.
Oh my god.
We're talking about HDR. Capcom. They also said that they plan on being a bit more transparent with changes to the game, which will include more responses to fans on streams, Twitter, etc. That's really good to hear. They've already done a pretty good job of being open, much more open than Capcom has been in the past when it comes to how they've been balancing.
Yeah, especially because, like I said, they have the change list at the location test.
They've never done that stuff
Never done that before.
No.
Yeah.
Just getting them the change lists at all was impossible for a while, and then very difficult. So now they're doing stuff, and for them to be more transparent, even that would be great. I would love to see even more.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's continue talking about
Some
Street Fighter 4 stuff. You want to talk about mods?
Yeah.
PC mods? Street Fighter 4 PC mods?
Somebody actually took all the Ultra notes and created this overall mod for the game. I know there's a link on it on Shoryuken somewhere. But basically they just took all the notes from what they've been hearing and making the tweaks, and you could basically change your PC version to try to emulate it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And in fact, someone showed me a video of someone, I guess they coded in Cammy being able to do hooligan and a dive kick.
Oh, wow.
And apparently they even lowered the hit stun on the dive kicks and everything, things like that. And they were finding all these crazy cross-up dive kicks, off of back throw, hooligan, dive kick, and all these crazy things, and it would still combo and all this other stuff. I was just like, okay, Vortex, not interested.
Well, there's delayed get
Yeah. I'm actually really curious for things like full screen EX hooligan into EX dive. If that's possible, dude, she can get in on anybody pretty much at that point in time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's kind of stuff I'm interested in.
You spend 2 bars and you have this super good hitbox with crazy good block stun coming in. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I was talking with ETR at the run back, I guess, and he was really trying to get me to get on this. I don't have a good enough PC to deal with that, so I can't.
Right.
My computer, as you'll recall, barely ran dive kick. It's true.
Hey, well, my computer can't even run it because it died.
Okay.
My computer is dead. So,
all right, we both suck. But yeah, he was talking about how it's a blast to play the Makoto that they have in there, and I would love to screw around with the Dawson that they have in there. He's the only character that I've been playing in that game for the last month, because I want to play offensive Dawson, because I'm bored with the game, so I want to play it wrong.
Dude, you're doing safe jumps with Dawson and stuff.
I found this super cool setup. Okay. Back throw into the corner with down back jab, jump medium kick. Unblockable. Yeah.
Oh, really? It's an unblockable? Oh my god, you're finding unblockables with Dawson.
Yeah.
That's too
Only
funny.
on certain characters so far. We'll see.
Dude, that's funny.
But yeah, I'd love to screw around with that. That sounds really fun. The thing is, as we were just talking about, the changes for Ultra Street Fighter 4 are in such flux that it's really not reasonable to have a mod that has whatever the up-to-date changes are. The changes that are in this mod, a lot of them I'm sure are different now. In the current build of Ultra Street Fighter 4, whatever it looks like now is probably pretty different.
Right.
So that's, but it's still a fun idea. And it's interesting too, because to have a lot of players playing these mods, people can find out a lot more stuff than just whatever Capcom's team can find out. Just you have more man hours into it, you can do more stuff. Like you were just talking about with this EX Hooligan into EX Dive, or the back throw into Hooligan into Dive Kick. I mean, there are all these things that maybe Capcom hasn't thought about. That these can be like thought experiments, basically, that Capcom can look at and be like, oh, I don't know if we want her to have that kind of thing.
Dude, it's ridiculous the age that we live in right now.
Yeah.
Right? That someone can be like, oh, look, they did this. Here, let's simulate it. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. So.
But that's not the only mod going around. It's not a. Yeah. Anyway, it's not a mod, I guess, but there's a combo trainer tool.
Yeah, it's been out for a couple of weeks now. We haven't had a chance to talk about it, and for those people who watch a lot of like the execution corners, the first attacks I do, I always have the whole bot method, audio cues, that kind of stuff. Basically, this is exactly what this tool does.
Yeah.
And what you do is you program a combo. Right now, the UI for it, the interface for it is a little less than optimal. I'm sure he's going to keep updating as he can. He wanted to get something out there that's working.
Right.
And what you can do is you can program a combo, like program a button, make it wait like 60 frames, then program another button, then program a special move code or whatever like that. And so basically what you're doing is you're coding in a combo. Then you can play the combo and see it go through and make sure it works. And then you can turn on audio clicks so that every time a button is supposed to be pressed, you hear a click.
Wow.
So
that's
that way,
pretty sick.
Yeah, if you want to learn like 1 frame link times, you hear click click, like short fierce into EX into Galactic Tornado, you hear click click click, like that, because you'll hear the short fierce into the Galactic Tornado.
That is so cool.
So I've always talked about how learning the timing audio cues is the best way to do it, and you just, because the thing is, everyone can ingrain, well, not everybody, I shouldn't say that, but it's easy to ingrain audio rhythms in your head, right? And so I think that's a great tool. I haven't messed with it yet myself because my execution is flawless.
Why would you even bother?
I don't even need it, right?
I don't know why you would.
So, but I would recommend it for other people to try out. So
that sounds really cool. Yeah,
it is really cool.
I'm definitely glad that people are making this kind of thing. It's something I'd love to see for other games too. But just having Street Fighter 4 on PC, having more fighting games on PC, let me say that, is great, because it means that this kind of thing is easier to set up. I would love to see more of it.
And you know what? To be honest with you, these are kind of things that should be giving the developers ideas. Right, yeah. This should just be built into the game.
That would be so cool.
Right? I mean, I know Killer Instinct, on one of the tutorials that they had, they tried to teach you manuals, and they'll play a ding whenever you're supposed to hit the button for the manual. Dude, that should just be part of the training mode. Like, you should just be able to just be ding, you recovered. Like, ding on move recovery. So you'd be like, whiff jab, ding, whiff jab, ding, whiff jab, ding. I mean, that's just how it should be. Yeah. So that way you can kind of figure out how to learn the timing and stuff like that. And then, you're going to have to play a real match without the dings, but you know what?
But you're more used to it at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So these are the kind of things that should be built into the games.
That would be really, really great.
Yeah.
I know Ultra Street Fighter 4 is going to have that online training mode.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll have more training mode tweaks, something I would love to see. I'm sure everybody would love to see that. Capcom has done better training modes, and then other companies, other games, like you said, there's one of them, KI, Skullgirls. There have been really, really awesome training modes to learn from, and now this is just a totally, a even higher level.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, they just need to do everything that they can nowadays to help out with combos. Like, one of the things that I wish that they had in Marvel, I just wish they showed you the hit stun deterioration meter or whatever like that, and you could just set it to a certain amount. Like, do the combo, hit a button, record it, and then you can just test the combo from that point forward.
Totally agree.
Like, go for an air combo, oh, this didn't work. Go for the air combo, this didn't work. Oh, you don't have to do, like, the big, long, stupid thing at the beginning.
Dude. Yeah, that'd be so nice.
It's just stuff like that I just feel like needs to be built into games, because we're reaching that point. And And it's just, again, it's just a good way for them to acknowledge that, yes, we're trying to help this competitive scene. So,
Right. I agree with that. Well, you want to take one more break?
Sure, no problem. I mean, this should be the last break, right? So
Yeah, this will be the last break. I don't know what we're going to talk about, so we'll probably
we'll
try to figure it out.
Normally we have topics, and we have like way more topics than we can get to.
Yeah.
Today we had a lot of topics, and we got through them all. So,
I guess we didn't ramble enough.
I know.
Usually not an issue.
Okay, well, we'll ramble some more when we come back. If you guys want to ask some questions in the chat,
Please
we'll
do.
just like pick some stuff up, or tweet us at UltraChenTV, and we'll maybe answer some questions. So
Yeah,
okay,
do it.
We'll be right back.